everybody had a good weekend. Okay, all right. So did we look at the tympanum that had the Last Judgment? All right. Did you guys draw this? Nope. All right. Let's go back in time. We looked at this though, right? All right. One of the most important things you need to know about Romanesque is the barrel vault. All right, that's the dead giveaway that you're looking at Romanesque churches. All right, did we cover that? All right. We did mute facade and speaking facade. All right. So then we are right here. All right. So how long is your announcement? Yeah, go.
Okay. I'd like to congratulate Lauren Cole, or what? Oh. Lauren Cousin for making NHS.
All right. Hey. All right. Good job. You get a balloon, tie it to your backpack. All right. So we are looking at the main door, the portal of the church. Right there. And I want everybody to draw this. We got a half circle. We have a lintel and post system. And then on the sides, these are called the jambs. I want you to label tympanum and label the jambs. In fact, I'm going to fix this slide. Where did we go? All right. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. All right, I want you to know the tympanum, and I want you to know the jams. All right, did everybody draw this? All right, that is amazing. Not Photoshop, PowerPoint skills going on right there. All right. So the tympanum will usually have reliefs on it, and it's one of the few places of medieval art where we actually see art. Um, and it's the most large scale sculpture in the medieval era. It was the tympanum relief sculpture. So let's take a look at what it actually looks like. This gives you a sense of the size of a portal of a cathedral or church. Again, you can see the Roman arches and that barrel vaulting, a dead giveaway that you are looking at a Romanesque church. All right. And so once again, we have the tympanum, which is the half circle, and this rectangle along here, that is actually the lintel. And you guys remember post and lintel from the Neolithic era. This is one of the first monumental sculptures of the medieval period. So we'll take a look at this, and typically these tympanum of the Romanesque would have the same story or the same picture, which is that of the Last Judgment. So I would like you to quickly draw this. All I want is the half circle with the lintel down below it, or a double half circle, and then write Last Judgment in the center where I've written it. We have heaven above and hell below. We have good on the right of Jesus. We have the bad on the left of Jesus. And the good are going up, the bad are going down into hell. Even though these are in purple, I want you to write them anyway. In fact, I can do a little PowerPoint magic on this one. Control A, and we'll do home, delete. There we go. All right. All right, that's better. All right, so in the Last Judgment, Christ sits on his throne in the center, and the good are on his right. Do you remember the Pantocrator where we had Mr. Frowny Face Jesus? All right, and he was looking to his left. That's because he's looking at the damned souls. So on Jesus's left in this image is the damned souls, or are the damned souls. On his right are the good souls, the blessed souls that are going up to heaven. All right, so once again, he is in the center, and he is surrounded by a mandorla. And I want you to know this term. The art history books describe it as an almond shaped uh, uh, halo around Jesus. He has the cruciform halo around his head, but he's got another halo which is around his body. And if you do a Venn diagram of heaven and earth, the area of the Venn diagram that blends heaven and earth, that'll be the mandorla, because Christ is he's a God. He's part of the Holy Trinity. So he is part of heaven, but he was also a human being for a while. So he is also of the earth. So he combines heaven and earth all in one figure. And that's why he has the mandorla around him. All right, so on the Last Judgment, there's a little inscription down here below the damned, and it says, "May this terrify those whom earthly error binds. For the horror of these images here in this manner truly depict what will be." Basically, it's saying this is what's going to happen to you if you live a sinful life. And we have Saint Michael is weighing souls, and you can see a demon is tipping on the scale, making the soul go down into uh, heaven to be judged. This demon right here is holding on to the scale and tipping it down. The souls are being grabbed by hooks and dragged into hell right there. And the medieval, say in the medieval mind, this was terrifying because this was true. This is not just an imaginary place. This is very certain what will happen in the in the minds of those in the medieval era. On the blessed side, the inscription reads, "Thus shall rise again everyone who does not lead an impious life, and endless light of day shall shine for him." So here we have angels are helping the blessed into heaven. And all of these down here, all these figures in the lintel, are the dead being lifted out of their graves, out of the ground, and they are waiting for judgment. So here we have pilgrims waiting for judgment. How do we know that they are pilgrims? What's a giveaway for the pilgrim? Yeah, the shells. You can see the shells that are on their bags. Angels are sending people to hell. This guy with the sword, this angel with the sword, I believe that would be Saint Michael because he is the soldier angel, and he is sending these people into hell. And I like this guy being grabbed by his head. All right, so let's go into the Romanesque columns. We're looking at the capitals of the columns in Romanesque churches. We no longer have a Doric order. We no longer Ionic, no longer Corinthian. They use these columns or the capitals as a place to tell little narratives, narrative reliefs on the capitals. Or sometimes it's just decorative. But if we look up at the capitals, there's all kinds of fun little pictures that we see. Sometimes it tells a story, sometimes it's just decorative. All right, everybody, where on this map is France? Yeah, if you think it's that odd shaped country right there, that is France. All right, and so we are going to go to Conques, 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 and we're going to go to the Abbey of Saint Foy. All right, so do you know what an abbey is? Right, it's a church within a monastery. I haven't really talked about monasteries. A monastery is a place where the priests or and the people want to worship without the distractions of the world. They just want to devote their life to studying the Word of God. So they go into the monastery and then they live their whole life inside the monastery. And it's walled and it has no or very little interaction with the outside world. Sometimes people come to visit. Sometimes they go on a pilgrimage to visit other places, but and then they'll need to barter or buy and sell materials in order to bring in food and or be able to buy food. So that is pretty much the purpose of a monastery. Let's see what happens when I click this. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. All right, let's go here, there. So we're gonna let's see, let's do this, and we can stand right in front of this monastery. We can take a look around this little city of France. Isn't that cool? I just think this is so cool. See, we take a field trip right here, right? Aren't you glad we can take field trips like this? What would you call the entrance of this, or what style is this in? Starts with a W, ends with a K. Yeah, I heard somebody say Westwork. We're going to take a look at uh, um, this portal right here. Notice the Roman arch. That is a giveaway that this is a Romanesque church. Also, the is this a speaking facade or a mute facade? It's a mute facade. Look how boring it is on the outside. But then we're going to focus on the portal right here. What do you call this area right here? Right, that's the tympanum. And then what would you call these areas right over here? Jams. All right. The jams are going to be much more important in the Gothic era, but I just want you to know what they are. And then we can see that this is the lintel right here, and this is a post and lintel system for the doorway. All right, so let's get out of this. Let's go back to our fun and amazing. Really? Okay, let's try it again. All right, let's go. Let's take a closer look at the tympanum. I put this picture in here to show you the size and the scale of this, and we'll take a closer look right up here. Again, we have a last judgment scene. Christ is in the center. What is this almond shaped thing that is around him? Mandorla. And then what kind of halo do you see around his head? That's right. That's the cruciform halo. All right. So his right hand up is gesturing to heaven. His left hand down is down, gesturing to hell. On his right are Mary, Peter, and the founder of the monastery, possibly. Let's see. All right. There's Christ. On his right, there's Mary, Peter, and possibly the founder of the monastery. So that would be it's a possible that this is a donor portrait. And then we have an entourage of saints on over there. Down here are the saved, and they're going to go to heaven. And the angels right there, this right here are angels. Oh, that's the hand of God beckoning to Saint Faith, which we'll look at in a second. Over here are angels that are opening the graves of the dead. And then the blessed souls are being led into a doorway over here on the left. These are the blessed souls. The damned souls are being fed into the mouth of hell, which is this creature coming out of this doorway on the right. So hell is very chaotic. We have the devil in the center, and then number two, that's a hangman on his left. That is Judas. After Judas betrayed Christ, he hung himself. Number three over here on the right is a knight that is being burned, and then over here is a glutton that is being hung by his feet. Number 5 is a ruler set on fire to warm the feet of the devil. Number 6 is a monk. You can tell it's a monk by his haircut, and he is having his tongue pulled out. So the message here is that even knights and kings and monks can be sent into hell. So the door is open, the mouth of the monster, which is the mouth of hell, they're feeding souls into the mouth. And on the other side of the door, they're being crapped out into hell. And that is a knight that is coming out right here, over here. That's a knight. All right. So inside we have these tall pillars that are the base of the arches that are overhead. So the arches come out of these tall pillars. All right, I've got a little story time about this. How are we doing on time? Got okay, we're good. All right, so this monastery had nothing to offer pilgrims. It did not have a relic, and no pilgrims equals no money. And so they needed a relic. If they were to get their hands on a relic, they would be able to lure, or not lure, but encourage pilgrims to come, and then they would make money. So no relic equals no money. So they close by, let's see, it's a 38-hour walk, is a monastery of Agen. This is the monastery of Agen. They have a relic, so therefore they have money. So the Abbey of Conch sends a monk to Agen, and the monk from Conch says, "Hey, I'm a monk. I can work. Can I work at your monastery?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." So one monk from Conch, joined the monks at Agen, and he eventually rises up through the ranks. It takes him years to do this, to get close enough to the relics. So he is in charge of all the relics at Agen. And it takes him 15 years to get to this position. So he takes one of the relics and brings it back to Conch. This is the year 866. And at this time, or in these times, it was very common, or not common, but it was open, that monks would steal relics from each other. So if relics appeared or just appeared without provenance, it was suspicious, or it was seen as fake. So then they would say, "Well, I got it from this other monastery." But also monasteries were stealing from each other, and that was very common. And they didn't call this stealing; they call it divine transfer. Anyways, this is the relic that they stole from the other monastery. It is still housed in the monastery of Conch, Saint Foy. So here we have the reliquary of Saint Foy. The word Foy means faith. This is Saint Faith. In Spanish, this would be Santa Fe. We get closer to it, it's an odd looking figure. But again, it's meant to look iconic. It's not meant to be realistic. It's not meant to be idealistic. It is iconic. It's about 2 feet, almost 3 feet tall, and is a container holding the remains of Saint Faith. It's a small piece of her skull. And the face looks weird. And some say that this face was part of another sculpture that they just attached to this sculpture. That it was the sculpture of a soldier. So it would have been a man. So one story goes that a man prayed to Saint Foy to get a wife and promised that he would give a gold ring to the reliquary. He found a woman and proposed to her, and she said yes. And he gave her the ring that he had promised Saint Foy. The woman put the ring on her hand, and her hand swelled up. The woman went to Foy to pray for healing, and the ring popped off and rolled towards Foy. So isn't that a cool? That's the sort of miracles that happened around these relics. Anyways, there's a small door on her torso. You can see it right there on her belly, and that is on certain days it would be open, and you can be able to see a piece of Saint Foy's skull. So, like I said, it looks like the head of a man. Uh, it could have been the sculpture of Charlemagne, is what the notes here says here. So it's suspected this part of spolia, and like I said, they took the head off of one statue, put it on another, or this could be the statue of Saint Charlotte or of Charlemagne, and it was just configured into a relic or a reliquary. All right, so the story of Saint Faith. Faith was a beautiful 12-year-old girl living in Agen. During the reign of Diocletian and Maximian, those are two emperors that were very cruel to Christians. There was a lot of persecution of the Christians. He believed that Christianity was hurting Roman values. So he wanted to reestablish the Roman gods. So he believed that, let's see, and he assigned the prefect for Agen to make sure that everybody is pagan. If they're not pagan, then you should kill them. So he goes around making sure that everybody is pagan. And Faith is this 12-year-old girl, and she says, I'm Christian and I'm not going anywhere. She was very defiant. And the prefect is a high ranking Roman officer. So many Christians were terrified. They either hid or pretended to be pagan, and Faith voluntarily surrendered to the authorities. She prayed for strength and for the words to convert her persecutors. And Dacian probably had some nervousness too. After all, putting a 12-year-old girl on trial would be a touchy situation, especially for a capital crime. So, who wants to execute a child? He certainly didn't. So during the trial, Faith gave a brave, remarkable defense of Christianity. And Dacian said, fine, keep your beliefs, just sacrifice to the goddess Diana in the town's temple. And she refused. So Faith refused, and Dacian lost patience with the girl, and he ordered her to be bound to a brazen bed and roasted. A brazen bed is like basically a big giant grill. Like you put somebody on a grill and you put fire below them and they get cooked. Pitch was thrown onto the fire to make its flames fair and burn her legs. This happened in public so that the crowds could witness the fate awaiting Christians. The problem for Dacian is that little Faith refused to cooperate. She cried, yes, but she did not scream or beg for mercy. After a miraculous rainstorm extinguished the flames, Dacian had her beheaded. Seeing all of this, the mob was moved, not to contempt for Christianity, but to pity for Faith. Their only contempt was for Dacian, the child executioner. They wondered what god of theirs could give a mere maiden such strength. Realizing the answer was none, many converted on the spot. In turn, most of these received martyrdom days later. All right, so, and that's the story of Saint Faith, the reliquary of Saint Foy. All right, we're going to move now to Toulouse. And we have the pilgrimage of St. James, or the pilgrimage of St. James. All right, so this is St. Cernan. He's also called Saint Saturninus. He's the first bishop of Toulouse, and he was sent to Gaul to spread the word of Christianity. Before he got there, idols talked to the priests. The moment he walked into Toulouse, all idols fell silent, and he started preaching Christianity. These pagan temples must be torn down, he said. There's only one, and all the other people said, there is only one who preaches everywhere that our temples must be torn down, and who dares to call our gods devils. It is his presence that imposes silence on our oracles. So they chained Cernan to a nearby bull, and the bull runs through the town, dragging Cernan behind it. And Cernan dies from his injuries. So this is a aerial view of Saint Cernan. Don't need to write that down because I need to fix that slide. So this church was built to honor Saint Cernan, and it houses and protects the relics within that of Saint Cernan. Also, this church needed to be large enough to accommodate the thousands of pilgrims who would arrive each day to pray before and venerate those relics. St. Cernan Church is the best preserved and largest Romanesque church. Pilgrims pass through St. Cernan on a regular basis, and they take and they were able to expand on the church. Notice that there are no two towers in the front, but you can see the tower that is in the crossing. Also, notice the change in materials. We have these white bricks on the corners down on the lower part, and then you can see a change in bricks between. It's almost like it's divided into thirds. There's these bricks right here, and then there's a change of bricks towards the top. And as they were built higher and higher, they ran out of money, so they were using cheaper materials as they got higher into the church. All right, and St. Cernan is also an excellent example of a church with a Latin cross plan, a long central east-west nave. We already know that. And so all the lines in here direct our eye towards the apse at the end, the altar. And then the engaged columns hold up the arches at the top, and then we can see that barrel vault at the top, which is a dead giveaway for a Romanesque church. And these are what's called compound pillars. And there's no windows on the upper level. There's no clear story up there. It is um, uh, that's what makes these Romanesque churches so dark. That there's not as many windows as in the Gothic churches that we'll see later on. All right, and then I want to show you that this is a radiating chapel. I haven't shown you any pictures of the radiating chapels yet. So I showed you maps of them, and there would be a bunch of these little tiny chapels. It's like a little tiny room without like a fourth wall. But there would be the relic and the reliquary right here. There would be images of the saints all around. On this other one, this is the reliquary, and you would go from one little chapel to another and venerate and pray to and get all of your prayers answered. Again, we have a crossing tower over the transept crossing. And then we have the second coming of Christ, or the last judgment. These are other tympanum images. I do want to show you this one, though. This one's a little bit fun. All right, there are 6 apostles on each side of Christ. You can see Christ in the center. and they have books to spread the word to the foreigners. The tympanum shows the strangeness of people beyond the Christian borders. And God gave these apostles the ability to speak in other languages. I do want to point out how abstract the folds and the clothes. We've come a long way since the Greek um, uh, Elgin marbles, where the clothes like really formed around the people and exposed the bodies within. But look at how these folds go into these swirls, which is I think is a very bizarre artistic decision to make. And then the folds are not natural at all. But in this tympanum, there's something very funny going on in the lower right hand corner. The Crusaders. So basically, what's happened is that they sent people out to proselytize the Bible in areas where there's no Christianity, and to tell people about the Word of God. And then they come back with stories about the strange people that they met. And some of the strange people that they met have big giant ears. Look how big those ears are. All right, that is way out of proportion to the figure. And then other people have the heads of dogs. And then other people that they met are so short that they need ladders to get onto a horse. All right, and this shows like the Eurocentric or the Christian centric thought that they had in their head is that everybody else outside of our borders, everybody else out there is just weird. All right, and it shows a little bit of bigotry, and not just a little bit, an awful lot of bigotry, and towards people that think or look differently than you. All right, so we're going to go to northern Spain now. And I really need to fix these slides. You know how I need to fix it? Like that I haven't finished these slides is that there's lowercase letters. And I haven't simplified the dates. So the book would say second half of the 12th century, and then I would write for you guys to simplify it for you guys as 1175 as the date. All right, so Madonna is on the throne of wisdom. By the way, Madonna and the Virgin Mary, that's the same. Madonna is just another name for the Virgin Mary. In fact, Madonna is the Italian term for my lady. It's two words, Madonna. They're ran together, and it's whenever you hear Madonna, it's my lady, unless it's Madonna the singer. All right, Madonna is on the throne of wisdom. This is dangerously close to idolatry. It feared that people are going to start pray to it like a relic. So they put a relic inside of it. The child looks like a small adult and is emotionless. And this sculpture is a sculpted version of an icon. And the iconic tradition doesn't tell a story. It doesn't change in the like what's happening here is not going to change in the next scene. What we're looking at is a God that is eternal. There's no story to it. Nothing happened before, nothing happened after. And she looks like Theotokos. She looks a lot like the Theotokos Virgin. Anyways, we're going to stop here for today, and we will start with Italian architecture tomorrow.